What's going on, you guys? This is Rasta G, aka Greg Ward, coming straight from the heart of the Electroneum universe. We got a special, wonderful program for you guys tonight. We're honored to have YouTuber, special guest from the YouTuber ETN community. We got Mr. Sean Davis from Crypto for the People in the house. Big up, Sean.
Hey,
Davis.
everybody. I'm excited and honored to be on with you guys. Thanks, man.
Thank you for coming, brother. We got Mr. Matthew Gray from 99 Cent.
How's it going, everybody? Thanks for watching. What's up?
And we got Tyler from Cora Merch, Cora Market, and the Cora Show. What's going on, Tyler?
What's up? Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming out, bro.
Yeah.
Lovely.
All right, so we're doing a little ETN YouTuber Webinar Conference. We're going to hope to have many more of these, and we've been excited to see the other YouTuber conferences that have been going on. Sean Davis was a part of a couple of them recently, right, Sean?
Yeah, man. That's like, I've done one other deal like that before, but yeah, I've been gotten on twice. Chris Gorman's on there, and so it's been a lot of fun.
That was super cool, man.
To be able to hear from him. You know, the cool thing is like, we sort of talked about this before. Like, it's a lot of our shows, like in YouTube, that we all sort of just, I mean, as far as I know, we point and click, and then it's just us talking, and it's real, like sort of uncut, unedited, authentic. And that's what I think is cool about that podcast, is because Electroneum on purpose is very measured and very, you know, like very clean. They try to edit all the videos, Richard L's, be all professional. So it's good to see somebody like just kind of letting loose and just speaking off the cuff.
Yeah. No, that was awesome. I love it's Electroneum 101, Mike, that's bringing the podcast together. Is he the one who's heading that up?
I think so, yeah. I don't know who exactly headed up, but I just got, somebody invited me and I just went along.
Oh, it was awesome.
You know?
I love Chris Gorman's.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Chris Gorman's got a fun attitude.
Chris Gorman's cool.
For sure.
Yeah, he's a lot of fun. He's smart, man, too. I mean, my God. When you talk about all the deals and stuff like that, I mean, we think we know, but he knows. And it's just so interesting to hear because, like, you see what's going on with the KYC, and he said that, like, I mean, it makes sense. Like, you sit there and you talk, like, maybe, oh, we're mobile carrier, you're trying to, he's like, I'm in, man, let's do it. Shakes on it, and you're like, woo. And then he said, literally, you go to the table, and it's him, and there's 21 lawyers, like attorneys, sitting around the table, like, okay, you guys got KYC? And he's like, you know, like, oh, we didn't talk about that. You know, and the lawyers are basically, they're the ones now who are in charge. They're the ones who are saying, you know, getting the okay to go legally. And so even though maybe you had an agreement with a CEO, when the lawyers get involved, everything changes. So pretty interesting to hear, you know.
Well, it's neat that the KYC is in place for that reason, because you could actually have the numbers add up and you could have the pieces fit together, right? Now all of a sudden guys could sit at the table, like you're saying, Sean, in the legal sense and make things happen, where before that, I mean, I don't know. As far as that, I know that those deals couldn't happen. When I saw KYC get in place for Electroneum, to me that was the turning point. Where when I was talking to my son about it, and we were talking about earlier, you know, when we get into Electroneum, and I got an Electroneum, like I said, at a point where the money went, you know, the price went down, and we kind of laughed about it because I hadn't invested much. But when we had been kept keeping an eye on it, and then when KYC came in place, and he was like, "Hey, Dad, the price just went up," and I just went over to take a look at why. And when I saw that the news was that KYC was in place, that to me was just like, boom. I turned to him and I said, "Yo, this is enormous. This is, you know, as far as a company within crypto who has a company behind it now connecting with the business world, that KYC in place for governmental regulations and the ability to come into countries and make deals. To me, it was just like it was the turning point. You know, it was, you know, you guys hear me say it all the time. It's the writing on the wall. It's like, to me, it's like, wow. Whether I agree, disagree, not agree, you know what I mean? Everybody, you know what I mean, agrees, I think, at the table that we want honesty within the marketplace. We want honesty within life. So as far as that aspect of why KYC is in place, all, you know what I mean, all good. But as far as business goes, the KYC to me was the turning point, you know?
Right on.
anyway.
Yeah, I like the KYC. When it first came out, I was honestly, just from an honest perspective, I was like, huh? Like, I was kind of like, are we sure we want to do this? That's really, and I'm wrong about it now. I feel like I was wrong. But at the time, I was like, I don't know. This is weird. And I mean, I can see why now. But at the time, I was like, I don't know. It's crypto, you know? Like, but I mean, it's still peer to peer. It's still a payment system. It's still, you know, fast and instant. And now it complies with laws. I mean, you can stay around the fringe and not comply with laws. Totally cool. There's a lot of stuff that does that. I own some of it, but also that's not gonna make the criminal activity or fringe activity is not gonna make mainstream adoption. It just isn't, you know?
Right.
Right.
So,
And it totally legitimizes Electroneum. Now, if you can, if you have KYC, you could almost call it cover, CYA. And they can show a customer base. They can show our user base. Like, these are our people. These are people that are completely involved. They were willing to give up, their identity and their statements and their picture and ID and everything because they believe in the company. So they are a part of Electroneum, and that shows legitimacy over the whole crypto space.
I see what you mean, like the commitment to actually filling out the KYC
Right.
rather than just like throwing an email up and be like, well, whatever, I might join Electroneum, right? And you count that as a user. Or someone
Right.
who's like, dude, here's my ID, this is where I live, this is my
Right.
social, right? Like,
That's a good
lot of
point.
info for someone to commit.
They can say,
That's
one coin can say, oh, we have 1 million users. Really what they're saying is we have 1 million wallets out there. Well, Electroneum can say, yeah, we have 2.6 million users, but we have 2 million, or there's 2.6 million wallets, but there's 2 million users. Here's their pictures, here's their names, here's their,
Right.
whatever. They're legit, it's not just wallets.
Shit, that's almost a country.
Yeah.
Electroneum's creating a country.
Didn't they say at the G20, literally, I think today, that they want, so the governments want crypto, how do they put it? Well, they're looking at how they can do a tax on it, and then they also want it to be regulated. They want to regulate crypto. They literally, I think it was 3 hours ago at the G20 summit, that's what they were talking about. And I think they said they're really going to pursue it. I think it's, it's either 2019 or 2020. I think it's 2020. And they said because that's when Japan becomes the leader of the G20 summit, and something to do with finances and blah, 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 whatever. But they literally, I think it's actually, because I was on the Coinbase app, I'm like, I wonder what Bitcoin's at. I don't usually check. My friend literally just wrote again. And I was telling them earlier, they're like, or my friend wrote, he's like, what's going on with Electroneum? Because he doesn't follow crypto that much. So I was like, well, don't look at it. But then I'm like, I wonder what Bitcoin is at. And I scrolled, then I saw it said 2 hours ago, G20 Summit, governments want regulation. So if you guys have Coinbase, anybody that's going to be watching has Coinbase, I bet you could find the article that I read. Pretty sure they're saying the governments, globally want to regulate crypto. So what does that tell you? Who's already in a position for regulation? Electroneum,
Right.
and many others. And not only that, not many others are going to want regulation. And there's going to be people who are going to say, people meaning users, believers, whatever, and cryptos that are going to say, well, the whole point was we don't want to be centralized or we don't want to be regulated. So they're almost going to end up as like the rogue currencies or whatever. I know that
Right.
Bitcoin, I feel like Bitcoin kind of has that, or crypto already has that. But the fact that they're like, well, we want to figure out how we can tax it, we want to regulate it. They're not saying no. They're saying, yeah, we'll accept crypto, but there's like, we have to, it's like,
Same thing
it's
we
a
talked
two-way
about
street.
before. Right.
You can use it, but we want to tax it. You can use it, but we need to make sure it's regulated too. So basically they confirmed today, world leaders confirmed crypto's a go. We just need to talk about some stuff. So once 2020 comes and that is like in full swing, or whatever, maybe by end of 2020, I don't remember how they said it, but once that happens, with whatever cryptos are left after the bear market, or whatever's going to take place, because I think I know Sean said that too, and a couple of us have said, at some point there's going to be a lot of cryptos that just disappear because they don't have anything to show or a number of reasons. So
That'll be your crypto Armageddon.
Right.
Yeah. So I think we have that going on. Now they just announced that regulations will be coming to crypto somehow in 2020 or around 20. So I don't know. Crypto is definitely here to stay for anybody who doesn't think it is, or if anybody has family members who don't believe it. It's here to stay, but only the ones that will play by the rules, and very few play by the rules, but there's one that does so far and is already making business deals, and it's called Electroneum.
Yep.
So I don't know if anybody else saw the G20 stuff. I just saw it. That's why I was mentioning it.
No, I hadn't heard it yet.
Yeah.
I didn't see it either. That's awesome.
Positive. Yeah, to me, it's a positive.
That's true.
Because what the heck's the point of owning all these cryptos if, Core Merge, you could buy this hoodie, or you could go sell a phone, and then same on your site. We can all be making these sites, but at the end of the day, I want to go to Walmart or Target or whatever and be able to use this stuff.
Exactly.
I don't know. It's an Electroneum, an ecosystem. I want to see. I never did the video. I was going to do a video. Apartments that the real estate agency accepts Electroneum, and then you got a mobile miner that contributes to your rent every month or whatever. I want to see that kind of stuff in 20 years. I don't care if I'm okay, it went up 12%. I don't care about that. I want can it do something? That's what I care about.
Exactly. Can you make it work in the real world situations? Like you said, go to the grocery store, buy a bicycle for your kid. And I know they just in Ohio, somebody was saying in Ohio they just started accepting Bitcoin for taxes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like you're saying with the G20, then you have government saying, yeah, we recognize this, right? Recognition in law is a big thing. So when you get recognition, and like you said, Tyler, Electroneum was the first at the table to start doing this, and that to me, once again, is a huge thing because they're already in place making business deals, and so they're the first they're the first at the door to start knocking. That's a big deal.
And when you think about it, the biggest, obviously the biggest coin is Bitcoin, and you can never KYC Bitcoin because there's no one to KYC everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no way to KYC unless you have you have a wallet that KYCs you somehow, or.
Well, unless government comes in and says, look, you can't use it unless you fill out these KYC. Really what Tyler's saying is probably what the combination of these two things, these comments is, if you want to continue to use this currency in a real world situation, you got to start complying with these regulations because they want to know how this money came in and how it's going out.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily a fan of regulation or lack of privacy, but I know in this real world situation how it's happening. I'm not going to ignore what is actually happening.
Oh, come on, Greg. You look like the straight and narrow kind of guy to me.
To me, we have the ability to help to shape the current and the focus of how we look at it. With Richard Ellison, the team already brought this idea of bringing banking to the unbanked. Ability to sell your services and do different things where they couldn't before. But I think that as a community, we have the ability to shape some of this in positive ways. A community that we have amongst us that we see. That's why I love you guys. Everybody supports one another in positive ways. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, it is a very positive community, ETN.
It's awesome.
It is awesome. Oh, yeah. And you guys will notice, I've noticed, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've been through last year's bull run and then the crap bear market, right? And now, so my YouTube comments go from woohoo, no, to you're a shell, ETN's a scam, right? So I get these, you know what I mean? You can tell how by the mood. But now I don't have any, I guess they call them shit posters, right? I don't have any, I really barely have any people coming on negative anymore complaining about the price because I think they're all gone. It seems like the people that are in now are sort of the people that were in before the bull run. You know what I mean? That were cared about the tech. It seems like we have people that care about like what we're talking about here with this expanding a currency to make it available to people who aren't there, the whole thing. But all the moon people and stuff like that seem like they're getting washed out. If I was just to judge by like comments on my YouTube videos, what do you guys think?
Right. Oh, I definitely agree with that. There's the one video where I made "Listen Up, You Motherfuckers," and I made that specifically because it seemed like for every 3 or 4 positive comments you get that one that was trying to convince everybody that it was a shite coin, it's got no purpose or no use. And yeah, like you said, you could look through your comments and you'll get the same people. You'll recognize all these same people that are still like pro ETN, but these people that were dogging on it or whatever, they're just nowhere to be found except for the crypto pickle.
That was funny.
Even if you look at their Twitter, it's not as bad as it used to be.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've blocked people. I don't know, but it used to be like almost 90% negative. Now it's not as, I don't know, like 10%. I don't know. I just don't see it that much.
Right.
That's the one criticism I think I do have of Electroneum is how they the social media. They, in my opinion, they have to be better about their hashtags because they have rocket stop it. My dog's driving me nuts. They have the Android app, the Apple apps coming. Well, like I've told them before, they know, and they do sometimes. I was like, when there's an Android event that's getting millions of views, or an Apple event that's stupid getting millions of views on Twitter. So you just gotta remind the mobile miner app, and it lets you generate or get however they want to phrase it. Just phrase it not in a crypto way, phrase it in a modern social way. I don't know. Just like free money every day, every week, whatever.
Exactly.
And you can spend it in the crypto PayPal. They can't say that part, but similar. They can say it.
Instant payment.
And say that, like, sign up on Electroneum, and then they can have hashtag Android, hashtag Apple event. And now you're mixing in Electroneum news, all people talking about the new iPhone. You know what I mean? So when I see that, I do that, and it usually helps, like with contests that I'll do for the site or whatever. And I'll get tens of thousands of like views. And I know not everybody pays attention, but the engagement is pretty high.
Okay.
And it's because it's now you're crossing, into.
You're getting out of Electroneum, you're getting into like Apple people.
Right.
Yeah. So exactly. So that's my one big, almost only thing that I'm like, you guys really gotta. And I tell them, and they do try and they listen. I'm not trying to. If they do it, they do it. But it's like, man, there's an Apple event, like use that. Or there's the Pixel 3 event. I'm like, use that. There's gonna be a million people tweeting about the new Google update or the Google Pie or Android Pie, and all this stuff. I'm like, you guys have an Android app. You're in the mobile industry. When come February, and then there's the new Samsung 10 or whatever it's called. They should be posting a thing and then have hashtag Samsung event. Get those people to see, because that somebody's gonna say, wait, what? Because then they're like, wait, the easiest, the most simple or fastest mobile crypto. Well, I kind of know about crypto because somehow not too many. A lot of people know about Electroneum, but I also feel like not a lot of people know about Electroneum or so. I don't know. I feel like there's this thing, like some people do, and then some people just kind of don't.
They know about it. They just don't understand it.
Yeah. So I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like that is an opportunity to attract people to just take a look. They don't have to sign up. They don't even have to download the app, whatever. Just take a look though and see, because then once you do start to see, even if you mention, like, let's say right now 2.6 million, like join the 2.6 million other people using the world's fastest, simplest mobile crypto, and you're like, wait, what? And then say the other details. I feel like
that right there. That's perfect. Like, Richard, do you hear that? That's your tagline, Richard. If you didn't hear it, that's it right there. Join the other 2.6 million users who have the fast. That's beautiful.
And don't forget, because it's social media. I'm not a big social media person. I actually hate that I have to do it for the the merchandise and the just core in general. And I'm not into social media at all. But people don't like to be left out. So if you, once we have, let's say 20 million people, and you're like, join the 20 million user, it's like, wait, I want to be part of the 20 million people. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just feel like that's just one small, easy, quick, takes a minute to make a tweet, just to reach the unbanked, just to reach more people. That's one thing.
Richard, I will take care of all your social media. Just pay me an ETN. There you go.
I second that motion for my man Matthew. Nice. And Sean will be your personal bodyguard, Richard.
Oh, there you go.
Man, yeah, you're a big dude, brother. I would be happy to have you by my side. Like, yeah, fucking don't mess with Rasta G. I got a picture for the people. Oh my goodness.
I got a thought in my head. So we haven't been, because I was talking to my father on the phone. I think it was last. Well, I talk to him every day, but I think it was last night I mentioned it. How lately, or there was somewhere that I don't remember, but lately there hasn't been all that much news that's come out, which I don't mind, honestly. I get that people like the frequent updates and stuff, but he's like, my father's like, why do you think they haven't been doing it? I said, well, I think, my opinion, I don't know, obviously, but I was like, I think the reason that we're really not getting too many updates just is because the bear market. And I was like, really, in my opinion, it's not even worth really coming out with. Let's say they have amazing news. I feel like if it came out now, it almost in a way would be a waste. Like everybody that would be happy from it would be happy from it, and then that's it. It
would be like, when's the next announcement?
Right.
Yeah. When
what's next week's announcement? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm just curious. Is that what you guys? I'm just curious if that's what you guys think. Like, well, not why they're not coming out, but like if it makes sense. Like, what's the point of even having an update when the market's so low? No one already wants to pay attention anyways because everybody's depressed that they lost money or whatever. So it's almost like I can come out with an update. Like if they said, hey, we're launching the iOS app, people would care. And a couple, meaning a couple 100,000 people would care. But in a couple with the market's back up, you can't say, hey, by the way, just remember we launched the app. Once news is already out there. You can't the excitement is kind of gone. That's just how I see it. I'm just curious if you guys see it that way too. I could be wrong. I don't know.
Well, see, in my opinion, I'm kind of split on it. All right, I'm of two minds of it because, and Crypto NWO talked about this some, and I completely agreed with them. Not to put out an announcement until something actually happens, until you actually have something to announce, right? He also talked about not saying anything in a bear market, only because, like you just said, it would get glossed over. We've already had like the mobile streams announcement. People still, I don't think, realize how big that is. Lonzo pointed this out to me, that the mobile streams it's going to reach about 850 million different people on the mobile streams network, on that app, the gaming thing. And it's just incredible how many people have just almost forgotten about mobile streams. But if you keep up on them, they're actually growing at an extreme rate. And another, 15 million approximately, or whatever it was, 150 million, are just from the other different partnerships that we already have in place that people are already going to see. And if even 10% of that, that's 100 million people that'll become involved with Electroneum. And yeah, you don't want to waste that on a bear market. On the other hand, this being crypto, who's to say when the next bull run would happen? And if a big announcement happened and we were just at that very small little start of the bull run, would that be something that was extremely beneficial? Put us out ahead of that marathon, that race, put us a few steps ahead, then the bull run happens and we get to ride that wave all the way to the top, So I'm kind of two minds of it. I have two different opinions about it.
Yeah.
I could see it being released after Christmas. I mean, a lot of people will get all caught up in the holidays and then all of a sudden take it off into the new year. I could see there's a part of me that feels like something's going to be released right before the new year. I don't know why, but it just feels like it. But I could also see, logistically speaking, letting people finish up the holidays, because you're not going to necessarily be able to spend your ETN tremendously that you're going to be able to make on the iOS app that you're not going to start mining on the iOS app and then spending it at Christmas. So I can see people, getting caught up in Christmas, doing their whole thing, and then all of a sudden right before the new year, some big news.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Sean?
I think they're building. I think they've been building. Like the KYC, I consider building. I think they're building. They're still just trying to build this infrastructure.
Yeah.
They've released the instant payment, but they're quiet because they're building and it's fair market. And you guys said there's no really use in getting these deals, but also that the deals need the KYC and they need this infrastructure in place in order to make them all happen. So I think they're really concentrating on that right now. But
sure.
when you look at what's happened this past, last year we got into this thing. I got into this thing. I've been into Bitcoin, but I got into ICO with this, and then there was ICOs. It just seemed like ICOs were gonna be a thing. Who knows if they were? A couple months later they're all gonna suck, right? Well, they were very lucky that this one doesn't suck, and they spent the money supposedly right. They didn't go crazy with the money. They still have it. I don't know how much they have, but they said that they'll be able to complete all their operations of, so that's very fortunate. And the fact that they actually built, everything that's gone into this is so much foresight and thought to it that it's actually incredible, compared to anything else out there. You think about, does Monero have an instant payment system? I'm not trying to compare it to different systems, but I'm just saying Monero's been out since 2014 at least. Right. There's no instant payment. There's none of this stuff that ETN has built. I'm not trying to put anything down, but I'm just saying that what they've done during this during this time after the ICO is remarkable. Yep. And I think they're going to be well poised about it. I'd like to see everything feel more like real money. So, in other words, I kind of been going down this weird rabbit hole, but using blockchain to make it easier. So in other words, if I want to send $200 to the Philippines, I got a family in the Philippines, I don't really give a crap if it's Electroneum, if it's Western Union, if it's Bank of America. I want to bring my $200 in. I want to give it to a guy. I want him to beam it across the world. And I want the person on the other end to be able to grab $200 in cash. Boom. And how could you use Electroneum to do that? Well, they would need some sort of infrastructure in the front, but where someone could bring in cash, you buy 200 in Electroneum, you instant payment it to the Philippines. The guy, the Philippines has it. He brings in his little phone. He scans it. It's his private key. That's your money. Here's your $200. We cash it in. And literally, the people on both ends were just sending money through a program called Electroneum. Right? But what they got was they got it for a penny. They got it done for a penny. They got it done instantly. And they got it, and it's $200 in. Sorry, I don't know this, but the Filipino currency, whatever it is, there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so the more that we can make it like that, rather than okay, well, open up an account on Coinbase and then get your Bitcoin and send it there, and then send it there. Well, what's the guy in the Philippines do? Well, then he's got to go over and get it into, okay, right? That's all has to be, for this to really take off, it's got to feel like I'm sending 200, or I'm spending it on my, maybe it's not going to be a remittance, but it's got to feel more like real money rather than me have to worry about forks and blockchains and, all this stuff that I don't have to worry about, right? I'm on the computer now on the internet because I use a mouse and I click stuff. If I had to when I first, you guys, I don't know how old everybody is, but when the first internet came out, I was on DOS on a computer. The computer was this fat. The green screen, I was command, scroll, run, DOS. I had all these commands, right? And it would never take off because if everybody had to learn that stuff.
Exactly.
And that's how crypto is now. Everybody has to learn that stuff. So when we can make it so that everybody doesn't have, which I think Electroneum is trying to do.
Exactly.
They're trying to make it on Facebook. They're trying to make it real. When you use the Electroneum app, it's so compared to other cryptos, it's so intuitive. It's so much you send it to KuCoin. It's you're sending it to KuCoin, don't you? You're like, oh, yeah, I am. You know what I mean? Thanks for the warning. Very, insightful. They thought about it. Okay, yeah. They thought about grandma trying to like send
Exactly. It's very, very user friendly.
I hope that makes sense. But I mean, that's when I think we're going to really see mass adoption. I think we're on the way. I think they're getting all that, but there's parts on both ends that's still clunky. And that's everything. But Electroneum in terms of currency is way ahead of almost everything.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody knows.
I especially like the whole where you can set your price in the QR code and then give that QR code to somebody, so they don't have to try and worry about typing in a certain amount of numbers. That's probably the best feature, I think, of the app right there, besides the fact that it gives me free coins.
Yep. Well,
that is pretty cool. So it's like an ask, right? Like I've actually never used that. So it's like if you want $10 with the ETN, you send them a request. Sort of
yeah,
like, hey,
you can, when you hit receive, you can, you copy your QR code or whatever. It'll say 2 different amounts on it, right? It'll say, just receive, and you would type in, or you would just, you could set it up so that way people could either send you an undetermined amount, or you can actually type in a specific amount. Like if you had a song that you wanted to sell for 10 Electroneum per download, you can put that QR code. So the QR code is designated for 10 ETN automatically. And all somebody has to do is scan it. And it says pay 10 ETN. You say, okay. And then the transaction's over.
Perfect. That's awesome.
That's grandma intuitive right there.
Yeah. That's what I love about Electroneum.
That's true. Yeah, I was gonna pull it up, but yeah, Sean, you could do that for your YouTube channel and have a little QR code permanently on your bottom left corner.
That's right.
So that's one thing I've been looking for too, is to put my QR code in my videos, and you can't put it in the description anywhere. At least not that I know of. Somebody might message us and tell us how to do it.
True. No doubt.
Moving on.
All right, let's see what we got. So we haven't actually even looked at the questions. We're just having fun.
Huh?
Now go ahead. What you got? Is that Tyler?
No, I was gonna say real quick. There was I think it came out today. Whenever I do my next video, I'm busy with my dad in the hospital. I think it's time about 2019, and it's like all these images, like weird images, and I don't know what it's called, but the picture you guys know, picture where the guy's like standing there and he's got the 4 arms, regular.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The Da Vinci or whatever.
Oh no.
Isn't that what it is? The
Yeah,
Da Vinci,
like
where he's got his hands up and his hands sideways.
So one of his arms is a phone with a barcode on. And I remember there was an article. I don't know who wrote it, but there was an article that was saying that payments using QR codes is especially over way more common. So it was just funny because I'm like, oh, the guy's holding a mobile phone with a QR code. I'm like, what's that sound like? I don't know. I just thought it was pretty interesting. I just thought it was pretty cool.
Nice. Prophecy.
Yeah.
Wait, let's see. Where do you guys see Electroneum 5 years from now? What would be your ideal your biggest vision for Electroneum in 5 years?
Be more specific. Are you talking about price or their infrastructure, or
I guess it's interface with the world.
Okay. 5 years. Given that amount of time, giving Richard that amount of time and seeing some of the other businesses he's created, I wouldn't have any problem seeing it in advertisements with other coins such as Bitcoin or Litecoin or Electroneum. Like you can already see some of the pictures from over there in London and such. They have the banners saying you can rent this ad space with Bitcoin, Litecoin, or Ethereum, and Electroneum on the bottom. And I see stuff like that in my head, like in what Tyler was saying with the QR codes everywhere. There's one on a vending machine at my work. And just imagine if one day that QR code next to it had, 4 circles: Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Electroneum, had the symbols right next to it. I can see it on vending machines, in stores. Like you could just purchase your item in the store. You don't have to go to the counter. You purchase it right then, and you have proof of purchase in your hand and walk out of the store and not even have to get in line for anything,
Yep. Nice. Yeah, exactly. Not to
the
have
best
to.
part, Matt?
Go ahead.
Want to know because you were onto something, but want to know the best part? Remember, instant payment is for Electroneum. They're going to be able to list any crypto they want. So imagine you just scan it with the Electroneum app, and then you can pick what you want to use.
Mm-hmm.
You only need one. Depending on, this is 5 years from now. Who knows how crypto is going to change? But imagine you just scan it, and you're like, and you just kind of go through what you have, and then boom, okay, I want to choose Litecoin or whatever, and then you, like you said, you just buy it right.
Well,
It's
see,
like Amazon Go Store.
yeah, I
Whatever they
think
call
it'll
it.
be actually a lot easier than that. Imagine something only having we accept Bitcoin, the price is $30 for this item. And, you wouldn't have to scroll through all the different things. I think in the back end, what Electroneum might have worked out is that you would just pay with the Electroneum value and it would do all the, all the exchanging in the back end. So you don't even have to select your currency. You can just, okay, I want to buy this item. They accept Bitcoin. I'll just use my Electroneum and pay for the value of it with my Electroneum.
Mm.
Right, it's true.
I had a weird thought about that. What Tyler was just talking about that the instant payment. How they did make it so that they can use other cryptocurrencies. They have the patent, and they patented it for other cryptocurrencies. And my original thought was the one Tyler had, which was cool. So we can also offer Bitcoin, Litecoin, whatever the hell we want, right? But the other part that I thought of later, which I haven't talked to anybody from Electroneum what's about, but maybe they patented it for all other cryptocurrencies so that it covers all other cryptocurrencies, so that if Bitcoin or Monero or Litecoin tried to come up with an instant payment, they couldn't. And so Electroneum has a patent for all cryptocurrencies, and they would just choose Electroneum, forcing the world into Electroneum's. That was another thought I had. I haven't got it confirmed, but I was like, that would actually be pretty smart. Get the patent.
As I know, you're right.
You know what I'm saying? You could open it up to everything else, but we have the patent on everything,
Right.
but we're just going to use Electroneum. So these other guys could try to figure out instant patent, maybe another way, but they're not going to use this one for sure because we got it.
It'd be different.
Yeah, there are
I'm
other
pretty
coins
sure-
that.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tyler.
I think you're right. Yeah, go ahead, Matt. I'm just saying. I have asked that question, and sometimes they can't give you a straight answer.
Yeah.
But it was basically like, you're right.
Yeah. Okay.
And they have to do, the other coins would have to do crazy things to get around it. Everybody, I'm not going to say the name. I don't like saying the names of other coins during a coin discussion, but there's the other one where you have to actually purchase the POS box in order to use that currency in the store. That's not going to fly. If I was, dang it, if I was a vendor or had a store or whatever, there's no way I'm going to buy a box and use this coin when I can just download the API and install it and run it for free. Not a chance.
There's no way.
No, and I think what you're saying with Sean is right. And as far as patents go, I'm not an attorney or anything, but I would think that if there's a specific mechanism, like you're saying, digitally, however it's, to transmit this money through in that particular way of that instant payment, if they got the patent for that particular technology, I would think it would cover any type of currency that's trying to accomplish the same, unless they changed how it happens, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like actually wait. So we got who else we got? We got Sean Davis didn't answer about the 5-year plan yet.
Oh, 5-year plan. Oh man, so 5 years. Interesting.
Can you pay taxes in 5 years with Electroneum? Start with that.
Oh. Yeah, I would say 5 years. That's 2024. Oh yeah, totally. I think Electroneum the next couple. I think 2000. I'm not giving any price fixes, but 2019, 2020, 2021, everything's going digital. Electroneum's built. It has a huge head start on everybody.
Mm-hmm.
They have the marketing. They have the KYC, which everybody's going to need. Instant payment. Literally right now, if the world, except for maybe the blockchain scalability, if the world decided, hey, let's use it, we want another currency. This Electroneum is pretty cool. Just like everybody decided one day PayPal was cool, and everybody started using PayPal, and then you saw like, how come got a PayPal account, and then everybody now has a PayPal account. If everybody decided to use Electroneum, they're set up for that. except, I mean, maybe the scalability of the blockchain, but I don't know. They could fix that. You know what I'm saying? But all the products are there for instant payments. You know,
Yeah.
so yeah, I definitely I see it as a currency. I mean, I really do. I see it as a currency, meaning like I don't see it as a store of value. I see it being utilized like in all sorts of different places in the world, opening up like making it possible for economic inclusion for people in areas that we don't even like. I mean, I think it's like we're all sitting here. Are we all in the United States?
Yeah.
Right? Dude, we're in a very different situation than half the world. And so half the world needs something like this. Half the world wants something like this. Half the world is like, you know, I mean, I'm not gonna get all philosophical, but they literally are cut off. Like if I'm selling, like Tyler's selling these mugs, right? If he's not taking Electroneum, he can't take an, someone doesn't have a bank, he can't take their payment. He can sell, he can have this for sale, right? But if they live in somewhere that doesn't have a bank and they don't have a Visa card, they don't have you know, and he wasn't selling with Electroneum, which he is. So he could take their payment. But he's not, if he wasn't, he would not be able to take so they're excluded from that, right? And so they're going to be, and they can't sell anything because if I'm not paying with Electroneum and they don't have you know what I mean? If I'm paying with Visa and they're not hooked up to a bank, they can't accept it. And so they have no way of storing the value. They have no way of getting the value. I've got a great idea. I'm selling rugs in like Africa, you know, or whatever. I got these cool things I want to sell and like people would buy them, but like, how is that going to happen? Because I can't, you know. So anyways, this is going to open up a lot of stuff.
Right.
I don't know how fast, I don't know what, but
it's really bridging the gap between the banked and the unbanked. It really is.
What you made me think, Sean, of like I'm just imagining somebody in some other country, like you're saying, that maybe more farming based, and there's some, you know, and again, I know to bring these people phones, you know, I mean, some of these people are not going to have smartphones necessarily. So, you know, one of the things, not to digress into a different subject, but one of the things we were talking about with the foundation that we really would like to see is bringing solar panels. You know, it's using some of this money to bring solar panels to these countries, you know, and then maybe even the inspiration of wanting to do that would hopefully bring some solar panel companies to be like, yeah, Greg, you know, I mean, you don't got to use any of your ETN from the foundation. We'll give the solar panels. But I'm imagining, like, you know, I mean, I'm imagining some farmers or some different, you know, like Sean's saying, maybe some rugs or some different things. Now you're able to pay them an ETN for these products, and they're able to come to Tyler, for instance, and buy a mug, or come somewhere else and buy some things from someone else in the United States. And then these people in the United States can translate that back into fiat currency again, if they so choose. But these people are in whatever countries might be able to use this ETN within one ecosphere. They don't necessarily have to translate it into their own currency of whatever country. You know, they could,
right?
You know, so it's going to have a lot more value for them. And then if we're able to pay them closer to the value of what it's worth, that labor, that value of that rug or whatever it might be. Shoot, countries where people, you know, I mean, super great at programming code, you know. But yeah, I love that idea. That's phenomenal, you know. And I'm hoping that as the ETN lottery takes off, that some people from these different countries who are able to access it, you know, I mean, might be able to catch some of the winnings here and there and be super excited because, you know, I've got friends of mine who are just generally excited. They say, yo, Greg, 10 ETN again today. Yeah, I got 10 ETN from the mobile miner. Super excited, you know what I mean? And I'm excited for them. So as it takes off and that 10 ETN might become actually literally $10 one day. Now the lottery, for instance, if for me, it's fun to think about if somebody in one of these countries can win 2,000 ETN, it's like, oh shoot, the difference between getting 10 ETN a day and also winning 2,000 is like, that's enormous for somebody, possibly for, you know, another one of these third world countries or whatever. Anyway, that's just, again, digressing. That's kind of some of my vision and fun thoughts when I think about
yeah. And the other thing is we think that, like, as Americans, just the incomes are so much higher than everywhere. I mean, I don't know about higher than everywhere, but there are places that have much lower incomes and they don't need as much income to live. Right? It's not like anybody's
right.
Exactly.
But just they don't need as much income. Things that, you know, but So that ETN to me is like, whatever. But like to them, it's like, holy smokes, this is big stuff. So,
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's a matter of perspective on that. It's really cool.
Electroneum TV, the channel, the Telegram channel, he put out a statistic or whatever, and he was listing off, I can't remember all of them off the top of my head because I have a horrible memory, just different areas, different regions, like Argentina, Venezuela, Chile, Brazil, all these different places. And, in order for them to get 30 minutes of airtime, it costs them $3, or 100 minutes of airtime, it costs them $3. And with the mobile miner, that month that they're mining and they get that $3, that pays for 100 free minutes for their phone, which is what they were already buying anyway every month. Here in the States, like for my phone bill, I pay about $50 to $60 a month to have unlimited everything. They're paying, $5 or even, maybe at most $10 in order to get enough airtime or minutes or whatever. So getting 10 ETN, like you were saying, Greg, yeah, super exciting for them. I mean, that just blows their mind. I got free money now. And some of these carriers offering, possibly double time for their Electroneum. Yeah, that's a whole entire utility bill taken care of just by the mobile miner.
Huge. Yeah. Yeah, we live in a very consumer-oriented society, so some of the products and the merchandise that we deal with the value, it costs a lot more, but in some of these countries, like Sean was saying, the cost of living is so much lower that this ETN, if it could be utilized in a way that could, again, keep it within some kind of sphere that they could eventually end up with value of some kind of property, of some sort of service, then that little bit of ETN goes enormous distance in these countries, or it has the potential for it. Hey Matt, how's BitTube going? You liking it?
Yeah. Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Nice. I mean, just looking at my list of questions, like, hey, Matt and BitTube, ask them about it. Sean, I like your comment the other day about you're saying that you could see blockchain taking off before Bitcoin, or before, or maybe that wasn't the direct comment, but you're saying that as a technology, you could see it being actually more adopted before coins. You want to talk about that for a second?
Yeah, I mean, even that example where I talked about sending the money.
$200.
That's the $200. That's the blockchain. That's not like someone doesn't need to know crypto to do that.
True.
I think that, I mean, I went down the wormhole with looking at what IBM's doing and all these cloud services and stuff like that. And I'm like, whoa, maybe everybody was in this, but I feel like there's this crypto camp, right? That's into the cryptos, and we're all like, woo, cryptos, these crazy cryptos. And then there's IBM, there's companies like IBM who are like tracking food for Walmart, right? Like literally like tracking the food and crazy stuff, like big, huge things. And I could see those being, they are sort of being used, but I could see like how they're really going to be used at some point. And you won't know that you're using, it'll just be like, well, I want to make sure this is organic. Some lady like hits the QR code on her freaking eggs to make sure that they're like caged, right? And she's not like thinking about mining or like a mobile miner. I got to get.
Oh, of course.
He's just using it, going, "Oh, I'm tracking this thing, right?" Yep. So I can totally see that like happening, and it's pretty amazing. Just the things that I sort of seen that these guys are in the world, like the World Wire. IBM World Wire is the same way. They literally are gonna just use crypto. Pop, pop. It's gonna look like cash on the outside. They're gonna crypto it, so it's gonna be instantly beamed across the way, and then it's gonna be cash on the other side.
Well, if Sean Davis could start a company today offering a service, cheaper than Western Union, using Electroneum.
Yeah,
I mean, you literally just tell someone across the world, hey, download this app. Get on KuCoin, get on Coinbase, and I'm gonna, send this guy's $2,000, whatever. I'm gonna charge him whatever, and you could charge less. Hey, Western Union, don't get mad at me.
Greg, think about it even beyond that. And what he's really trying to describe is they wouldn't even know it was Electroneum if he set up that kind of business, bringing you,
yeah, just say,
money.
I got super fast payments. Costs you a penny. I'll send you $200 to the Philippines.
Yeah. They'll see it in 5 minutes.
Electroneum on the inside workings that they don't even really need to know. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's true.
So that's sort of the things that I'm talking about. How we might be using blockchain and not really even see that we don't need to know about cryptocurrencies. We're all thinking that we have to adopt crypto, and learn about mining and learn about forks and all that. Dude, no one's going to ever learn about all that. You know, hope everybody knows that. Like, nobody's going to take the time to learn about forks and all that stuff. Like, it's just us. We're the weird ones. And so for every blockchain to take off, it's got to be different than all that. It's got to be, it can't be the nerdy, entering commands, DOS, right? It's got to be,
agree.
I got my mouse, I'm like, okay, I sent it, cool, right? Because,
literally, like you're saying, it's literally like a PayPal where you could upload your fiat into it, and Electroneum knows it's using Electroneum to sell it, to send it out. But you're just uploading your fiat, and the other guy on the other side gets his fiat. And
I can see Electroneum being a PayPal. Like in 5-year plan, I can see like a PayPal, Electroneum, and a MasterCard, Visa, that type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Even before you could take Bitcoin. I mean, I could see it.
Yeah.
Just because they're the ones who are going to get it all, money compliance and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay, I could definitely see it. Hey, Tyler.
Yeah.
Hey, I gotta say, man, you're freaking,
He's still here.
Your merch is off the chain, dude.
Oh, thanks.
What? How long you been doing merchandising like that? Like making stuff like that?
Just since Cora.
But I'm saying, was Electroneum what brought you into the world of making merch?
I mean, see, I've always been. I progressively, I guess, get better because I taught myself like Photoshop and all that stuff. I don't even know how old I was. I was young, but I taught myself. I've been doing the YouTube and then doing graphics and different stuff for that. That helped me get a little bit better. And then with so then the original thing was the Cora market.
Okay.
With the tech and all that. And that's going to be getting an update. You know about it, but nobody really knows about it. Well, Matt knows too.
Yeah. So core market, core merch.
Yeah. So
I'm excited.
We'll be getting an update. I'm still working on it's going to be it's like skipping 2.0. It's going right to 3.0.
Nice.
So that's happening. So that was the original plan, and then I'm like, what would be really cool would be the merchandise, because it's a way, I wear my stuff to the store or out or whatever, and I've actually had a number, like a lot of people say like, those wristbands will be on Cora Market. I have to talk to the guy. I don't know when he's listing it, but they'll be on Cora Market, and I believe it is the Beast Awakens, right?
Yeah, the Beast is awake. I don't know if I can show it.
Nice.
I don't know if you can see it or not.
Sending them to me too, but they will be on the Cora Market.
Alex K.
The merchandise, I was like, so like I was saying, so the people, some customers have been like just wearing it out or whatever, and people like go up to them, ask where they got it, and then they have full conversations about Electroneum, and the customers have said like usually after the conversation the app's on their phone unless they have Apple, but then they signed up. I mean, I've had a lot of people say that, well over a dozen, like way more than a dozen. So it's
helping spread the word.
Yeah, and it does, but like in a different way too. Similarly, how I was saying earlier, like with the social media, certain hashtags, it's just a different way to kind of get it out there, but you're also supporting it too. And ever since we did or added instant payment, tons of people have been doing payments with Electroneum, but like from all over the world, and a lot of unbanked countries are doing it. But what's really cool is a couple of them said like the brands that they're getting there, they would never have access to those brands ever.
Right.
But they do now because of Electroneum and shipping. Well, first of all, so if you spend $50 or more, it's free shipping. I cover that. But if you just get if it's under 50, even in like Nigeria or whatever, it's like $2 or $3 shipping. I can't even get to shipping in the freaking US. I'm like, how is that? But that's what it is. So, and that comes from the drop shipper, because they have like 5 or 6 locations in Europe. So $2, and they get a super high quality. I'm not talking about like design. I mean like high quality apparel, that they never would have had access to before.
Because if they had a Visa, they don't have Visa or MasterCard, they couldn't buy it, right?
They couldn't buy it, and not only that, nobody in that area, because a lot of them, because they'll have like Twitter or whatever, and I'll talk to them. They'll write to me. There's one guy who he's like in college or whatever, and I think he does it once a month or every few weeks. He does a seminar with his classmates. He just goes up to them or they give him flyers or talk to him about it. And not Cora, Electroneum. And he has a seminar every single either month or, well, he definitely has it every month. He has it every other week or whatever. But he does it, and he said like the amount of people grows every single time he does it. So there are people that are spreading the word about Electroneum, and a couple of them, because then they'll write to me and they said, you know, they went to a seminar and he'll show my merchandise because he bought some and all that kind of stuff, and they'll wear them around and they love it because it keeps them warm and this and that. But it's just really cool that just a regular guy in Las Vegas who could do graphic design is like, hey, you know, this would be cool. And then there's somebody in an unbanked country, you know, they don't make a lot of money or whatever, and they could never have afforded to, or even had access to anybody that had these you know, merchandise products, hoodies or anything like that, and then let alone get a brand new one. And then now they have Electroneum. They downloaded the mobile miner, and they share it among friends. That was the one thing that they said too, that they do amongst each other. If there's like somebody has a book or whatever, they'll trade Electroneum so that they can build up Electroneum. And then so somebody did that, and they bought a sweatshirt, and now they have a sweatshirt, and they feel like, you know, because they look up, in a way, they look up to U.S. people because, you know, we're like the light of the world or whatever people call us. And then now they feel like, hey, you know, I'm like them. I'm finally like them. And it's what Matt said. We're the bridge. Electroneum's the bridge, the unbanked to the banks. And you can think of it a few ways. It's the bridge. And then my girlfriend's mother says like Electroneum kind of like a hand up. Like we're helping raise these people up.
There you go. Yep.
Like where eventually we'll all be on the same playing field. And when you think of it like that, and I say this in every video, I feel like I do. When you think of that, and then you try to think of another crypto that has not said it. I don't care about words. I care about action. That's actually done stuff, and has people like us who have these websites that people can actually spend it or get stuff from, and they do, and they use it, and it, I don't know. I just feel like there is not a crypto that really has. I've never heard of a story like that, where you know they don't have access to this stuff, and now they do, and it's only because this man Richard Ells and this team has this idea, and they actually follow through on what they say. I don't know. I just feel like it's unbelievable, honestly. In 5 years, I think there will be a book written about it, or at least a movie or something. I really
or a children's book.
It's crazy. Yes,
right.
Like a legitimate, you know, outside source or whatever will either travel or what. I actually believe that people will say like, you know what, this company's really doing something that nobody's done. And if they made like they were going to, they never did it. It was all hot air. But these people actually did it.
Right.
It really is crazy, and I just want to share that because obviously you don't get all the messages that like, you know, that I get from it. But when you see it, and you see it like twice, 3 times, 20 times, it makes you realize like we are all part of something like huge, like bigger than what most people realize. And somebody said something, I don't remember where it was, but it's along the lines of like, just because, you know, there's quite a few YouTubers that do Electroneum, obviously, and a lot of them are here right now. And there's All About Tech, Truth with Rob. There's so many, Digispin, Crypto, NWO, so many, Missing Coins. But what not we, but like as the group community, what I think we sometimes don't remember is that we say, there's 2.6 million people, but I don't ever think we actually remember there's 2.6 million people, right? And they probably all, or almost all, who get it, tell people, and then they tell people. I think we have more than 2.6. Just because people haven't signed up, I think we have more than 2.6 million people right now. And the thing too is that not everybody's on social media. Not everybody watches YouTube. Some people just don't do that stuff. So even though, how do I put this? In a way, I'm trying to say, like, it seems like there's sort of like, where are these other 2.6 people? Because it's not like Matt Gray, Sean David. It's not like we're getting 2.6 million views, right?
Right.
Which I don't even want that. We don't have 2.6 million subscribers, anything like that. So sometimes people will look at that and say, like, well, where are all these people at? They're there. They're here. Don't go by like silence or whatever you want to call it. This is a bigger thing than what anybody realizes. And I don't want to. I think Sean, you do know, and Matt, you know too. Greg, I don't think you know, but you know how many orders that I've had on. Not many know, and I don't want people to know how many I have orders. Just because there are other people that are doing merchandise and they deserve to do it. You know what I mean? Like they put the time in, they should do it. But we've had a lot of orders, more than I think anybody, and even myself, thought we would have. And we started September 10th. It's not even December 10th, and we've had like a lot. And I'm not bragging. The only reason I'm saying that is
I believe it, brother. I can.
When you buy this stuff, you're not buying it because you're going to sleep in it. You're buying it because you're going to wear it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'll sleep, but you're going to buy it because you want to show people.
Yeah.
So don't go by the silence. I'm not telling you. I'm telling everybody. This is a major, I guess, movement.
It's a major event.
Something in the crypto space, and I think. That's my short answer. But I think in the 5 years, I don't know. I think the picture that will be painted by Electroneum is something that I don't know if any of us can even, including Richard Ellis, can even fathom. Because I think it's going to be begged for by companies. I think they will be begging. I really do. And a number of them. And they will do whatever they need to do because there's so many people. First of all,
basically, Quora Merch is going to become the new Amazon. They started off selling books.
Don't do that. I will cancel orders. Oh, man. But I'm serious, though. There's so many people that, first of all, are neglected. And that's my opinion. Like, unbanked. There's no... By now, it's almost literally, I can't believe how fast the year went. It's almost 2019. And the fact that there's still people, and I hear the stories too, and it sometimes makes me like cry. The fact that they have to deal with this in 2019 makes absolutely no sense.
Right.
So once Electroneum and the story or whatever gets that 10 million user number, 20 million or 100 million, try to find like an article that doesn't pick that up. Right. And once that's picked up, all these other companies, people are going to say, well, wait a minute. Why did this company do it? Where was everybody else? Where was Amazon? Why didn't they do anything?
Exactly.
Where was anybody, right?
Exactly.
Why didn't Apple ever do anything?
So Tyler, I have a perfect example of this. I used to be on the board for a nonprofit called First Mission. And it was, Christian based. We were paying for young men to go to like a seminary type thing, and we were paying for their tuition and their books and everything. It wasn't very much money, and they were teaching these young men how to be preachers and pastors and stuff. And then those guys were going out and starting churches. Well, the idea was, I presented the idea. I'm not on the board anymore. I stepped down from it, but I presented the idea to the president of that board that there's about 50 or 60 men in this program every year that, you know, have to pay their way. And it's like $120 for them to go through this 1 year long course. And that pays for all of their food and lodging and books and everything. And I suggested him, get your guys in. First mission needs to tell these guys about Electroneum, about the mobile miner, because if all of these guys start using the mobile miner, and at the end of a month, if they have 300 Electroneum, then they can pool those resources together and use that to pay for their tuition, pay for their books, not just their online games or their cell phone data or whatever. And in these guys, I mean, in these areas, and I've seen that, I've talked to these guys, like you were saying, they do look up to the way that Americans dress and everything. They'll wear a suit, and on the cuff you'll see a little price tag hanging down. They leave that on there because it's a status symbol of the fact that they paid for that suit. They bought and paid for it. So using Electroneum to help out a lot of nonprofits, that would be enormous in itself, because there's a ton of nonprofits that are doing everything they can to end hunger and the lack of fresh water, to end poverty just in general in many parts of like Africa and other parts of the world like that. It's just one example. Electroneum can be used by these nonprofit organizations, and it should be, because I mean, it's free Electroneum.
Real quick, what was that? Yeah. Because you mentioned the nonprofits, I can't go into details because they're still working on it, but I'll like announce it informally, I guess, with this, is that Cora Market is actually, we've been working with, we've actually partnered with Hope for Hearts to do stuff. So that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know when, I think Matt, you knew that. I don't know when the details are coming, but we and for real, like Hope for Hearts. And I don't know, I think it's Hope for the number Hearts.
Like for. Crypto for the people.
Not the big. It's like crypto, for. So it's not Sean Davis crypto for the people. It's but no, I mean that was when that like started, that was still pretty cool though, to because it's in the unbanked places. And so, we're working on, getting different things. Either we don't know, is it going to be tech things that we donate? We don't know yet. We as in like together, we don't know. But so that is something that Cora is doing. So we're working with Hope for Hearts, getting that. That'll be done early 2019.
Very cool.
That's pretty cool.
So Greg, you got a list of questions there, right? Have we hit any of them, or?
Yeah, man. You know what? I think it was cool how we went about it, and man, we don't have to necessarily hit too many other questions. I just wanted to give a big shout out to since we're gonna be releasing this in the rest of the YouTuber community, wanted to give a big shout out to All About Tech, Truthful Rob, Mr. Dino from Digit Spin Crypto, Oscar Tech, Crypto NWO, Crypto Rich, Crypto Turk, Naga Tribe, GRB, got Mike from ETN 101. We got Fugazi. I just want to give a big up to all of our YouTube community. So since this is kind of a YouTube's webinar tonight. But yeah, I appreciate you guys coming out. We don't have to stay on very much longer. We could wrap it up, and unless there's something else you guys want to talk about.
No, it was awesome being on with you guys, man. I love talking Electroneum.
Heck yeah.
Oh, I wanted to do one thing, actually. Sean, on my phone, our faces are next to each other, so I want a fist bump right here. I don't know if I can.
This way or where?
Oh, see, I'm seeing opposite.
Yeah, that way.
I got that's Matt right there. Nice.
It's like a Brady Bunch thing.
I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys, much love to you. We'll see you back out there in the community, the YouTube land. I look forward to seeing everybody's videos, and I'm sure we'll be in touch.
One more thing, Alex K. I wanted to make sure I mentioned his name. He's the one that came up with these bracelets, and there's also I'm talking to him, and we're actually going to make some 99-cent bracelets as well.
Nice. Yeah, Alex is my man. I've been in contact with Alex for a while. He's been a supporter of the ETN marketplace for a while.
Cool.
So, you guys, much love and blessings. Everybody out there in YouTube land, Rasta G, Matt Gray, Sean Davis, Tyler from Cora Merch. Much love and blessings, everybody. We'll see you guys soon.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
One love, everybody.
That's right. One God, one root, one absolute. Check it. So check the root, not the branches, all the shoots. Check the root. You can tell by them fruits. Check the root and seek the absolute. Check the root of your soul and see there's no dispute. No.